Good evening. I'm John Scarborough, and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe's on vacation. All right, bring in the rest of the crew. There's Bill Batman, and Bill the Batman Sartain, and then Dan Hollyfield.
Sitting in for Bill Sartain is Robert Pattinson, not to be confused with Robert Pattinson, the actor.
And Joe's back from vacation.
Yeah.
Yep. Vacay.
Oh, I missed what you said when it started. I couldn't get my headphones on in time.
Oh, darn, it was so poetic. You just completely missed.
Well, do it again.
Great oratory.
Do it again.
Oh, okay.
Good thing we're not live.
He didn't hit the button. I see the counter. He's live.
Press the button, Max.
Breaking news. In what may be the most devastating blow to Russia in the history of Russia, Stolichnaya Vodka announced Friday that it will change its name to simply Stoli in response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The founder of the company, Yuri Shefler, was born in Russia but exiled in 2000 for his anti-Putin views. Stoli has been manufactured in Latvia since then. And he's like, screw Putin. I mean, that is probably the most Russian brand of vodka out there. And he's like, nope, not anymore. Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal all shut down their services in Russia. Visa and MasterCard, you know what a blow that is to their economy?
Money's running out.
That's literally like, that is billions of dollars that people in Russia can't spend. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
And I also hear
Sarah.
The more I see you struggle with that infernal device, the more I'm glad I don't have one.
Hello, computer. That's why I posted that thing on Stupid O'Clock because of Joe Dog.
Chris is here.
Good evening, Chris.
That only works on people who are already
I know by now how you are, so.
Of course, I told him the news that happened today.
What's that?
Down in Dalton.
Tell everybody else then.
Well, starting Monday, I would advise people to get their room reservations for HallowCon.
Yep.
But
That'd be a good idea.
Due to the current situations and price increases on everything, the hotel has gone up $5 a night on our rooms.
Oh, I don't know if I can afford that.
Well,
Hello, Sarah.
I'll put it to you this way: we're going down to the Huntsville Comic Show in April. The two convention hotels that they have, the cheap one is $189 a night.
Could be worse. You could be going to Dragon Con. Parking the car is like $50 a night.
Yeah.
A cheap room at Dragon Con's $400 a night.
Yeah, yeah. I hate.
Reason I'm never going
That's
to
why
Dragon.
they put 8 in a room. They don't tell the hotels that, but that's what they do.
Ryan Permison.
Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ron, welcome to the show. Don't send him a link, anybody.
He's already got the link. He put him on the list.
Okay, forgot.
Yeah. He's shown me leashed.
I'm tired, Ryan, but I'm good other than that.
Ah,
It's
Get
been
in here,
a busy
Ryan,
day.
if you're not busy.
I'm
Productive.
kind of iffy at the moment. Lindsay wanted to watch the special on the Beatles on Disney Plus, so we had to subscribe to Disney Plus. And now I'm going to get stuck watching Mandalorian and all this other crap people have been blathering about for 2 years.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and all that, all these superhero shows that I don't really have any interest in whatsoever. And if you believe that, you'll buy this watch.
Dan, I will tell
So
you,
I did.
the Beatles, Let It Be, whatever they're calling it,
Yep,
that's one that you don't sit down and try to binge watch.
she did.
Oh, my. How long is it?
Hey, she's English. She grew up in the period. She sat down and she goes, "Hey, this is like watching history unfold." And I go, "Yeah, but you lived through that, but you didn't get to see all this behind the scenes stuff."
Well, it's I think like 3 or 4 episodes, and each one's like 2.5 hours long.
She watched the entire thing today, and yeah.
I probably could too, actually.
The only problem she mentioned was she had to she had to put it on pause and go make a cup of tea when Yoko started singing.
Why'd she put it on pause? She should have just gone and made the cup of tea. She'd have been done by the time she got back.
You just turn the volume
I'd-
on.
I'd put it on fast forward and go make a cup of
Perhaps she
tea.
was spiking the tea.
No. She made herself a nightcap here. She's been having an earache for the past couple of weeks, and we got her some earache drops, and it's been helping a lot. But she has been having trouble sleeping, so she broke into my Canadian Mist, and she's got some Irish cream creamer for her coffee, and mixed the two and made herself some homemade Baileys, basically.
Mm.
So she's gonna be sleeping like a baby tonight.
And
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you for plugging my new flyer. No, I haven't sold any prints yet, but I've been awful busy, so I got to check my messages too. But Ryan, how did you like the music for the flyer? Did that kind of take you back to 80s AM radio?
Oh, Dan, did you see that video that I posted? I know Bill, because Bill liked it. What movie
Hendrix.
was? Yeah, what movie is this? And what would you give to have been in the audience that night? It was the night Hendrix played in front of the Beatles, and he opened with Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I've seen that YouTube video numerous times before, but I don't know
What the movie is?
where it came from. Yeah, I should know that as a Beatles fan because I know they talked about it
I'm sorry, I was
every biography.
I was editing short stories for tomorrow's issue upload of Apelian all day long today. I did not watch any videos for anything.
That
Not
That's
till about 9:30, 10 o'clock when I was able to watch a couple of things on YouTube that I've been binge watching. But that's neither here nor there.
yeah. Well, that is definitely one you need to watch because it's at the end. It shows. I think it was Paul standing up and clapping, but you could see Ringo up on the balcony drumming.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the
I want.
manager was sitting back in the audience, just covering his head, like, "Oh God, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?"
Uh-huh.
Because when he played for the Beatles, when he did that show, it was 2 days after Sergeant Pepper's dropped.
hmm
So
The album,
he had 2 entire days to learn how to play the song.
no, he had about 30 minutes. He already knew the words. The band had about 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, he knew it, and the other two had to learn it.
Yeah.
Now, something else that I would love to see, Joe Dog, is if there was any, and I think there was live or film footage of when the Beatles and the Monkees got together. They kind of paired off into their own little cliques of who talked to who and that. And you've seen the photographs 1,000 times over of Mickey sitting with Paul and so on and so forth and that. But I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to hear the conversations that went on that evening.
What about the jam session?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because it was the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper that was the album, the only album that knocked the Monkees' headquarters out of the #1 Billboard spot.
Mm.
And they were up there for like 16, 18 weeks, whatever it was. And it took Sgt. Pepper to fly up there.
And Ron says he'd give anything to see Star Wars in '77 and see the phenomenon it became.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Ryan, this top row was there.
Yeah.
I was too.
Opening night.
I was going to say, been there, done that 7 times the same year.
Well,
is that all? I got 13 in.
My roommate at the time went back with a little Kodak camera and was taking pictures while the movie was playing so that he could build models. And he did some outstanding work, let me tell you, just from those very fuzzy
42 times.
You could
and then the second week he had something else to do.
You could go to the matinee at Northgate for $1 on Saturday
and just not leave.
And stay
just
off
not leave the theater. Yeah. Nobody cared.
They would kick us out because that's what everybody was doing over in Danville. It played at the Fisher.
Now I remember when the movies were, when they would put the movie ads in the newspaper of what was playing, and then it says held over this many weeks, held over this many weeks.
I saw it 42 times in that first year that it was out.
Yeah.
And then I saw it 6 more times over on Mountain Creek Road. What was the name of that mall they had there for a while?
Foursquare?
Foursquares.
Yeah, the 99-cent.
The 99-cent one.
I miss
Yeah,
that.
I know when we used to gripe about $3 being too much for a movie. And then now last night, because we're going to go see a certain movie tomorrow, me and my 13-year-old niece. And I got on Fandango to buy tickets ahead of time, just in case, because this is the first weekend. And so $9 for me and $7 for her. And that was a matinee showing.
Yeah.
When I got the tickets for the Ghostbusters for me and my son, I remember it came up to whatever I had spent for an entire date with his mother.
Oh, God, we saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, and that was actually the last movie that I took my niece to see, and of course we absolutely loved it. And so now that the DVD and Blu-ray's out, everybody buy it. You will not regret it. But the theater we went to, this was an AMC theater that had a 2-story tall movie screen. It was basically a drive-in movie screen, but indoors with all the surround sound, Bose, whatever high frickin' tech it was on the sound. And we sat up in the second or third floor. So for 2 matinee tickets, 2 tubs of popcorn, and 2 Cokes or whatever she got, I spent close to $50. Kid you not. All because it was that frickin' screen. So tomorrow we're not going to that theater.
Oh.
I'm actually going to the theater that Laura took Kayla for her very first movie ever in her life, to the Savoy 16. When Beauty and the Beast first came out, the Disney movie. That was Kayla's first movie, and saw it there. And so I think we're going to have we had a good time at the Ghostbusters, but I think we're going to have a better time at the other.
That was a comment dump there. It's all one word. Did these things show up on YouTube? It's comments in the side panel there?
Oh, yeah. Only if he puts it on the screen.
Yeah, only if the Facebook comments aren't seen on YouTube.
Okay.
Only if he puts it on the screen.
Yeah. Well, where is the Whitsmans?
Yeah.
He's probably getting his beauty sleep so he can make his early morning Meyer run.
Well, he should have gone to bed earlier.
Well, I had a couple things to tell him and Donna. I saw Carl's brother, Denny, today, working out by the highway. He's a Oakwood police officer again. The big trucker convoy was coming through down Interstate 74 today. He was up there working.
Oh, they got evicted from Canada?
Well, they're headed to the Capitol. And there's a lot of them. But anyway, protest is a protest, I guess.
Well, quit your damn protests and start getting the shit on our fucking shelves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say the bad words, but that. And Chris, you missed my snarky comment because Bill talked over me.
Yeah.
You said Carl needed his beauty sleep, and I said he should have went to bed earlier.
I heard that part.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said something else.
Oh.
In addition to that.
Oh, that's right. They were coming from California. No, Carl's brother was up there on the overpass because they were putting American flags all across the overpass, and he was up there kind of directing traffic. And I thought about honking my horn and waving at him, but knowing Carl's brother the way I do, I figured I'd spook him and he'd fall off the side of the overpass onto Interstate 74. So thought, better not do that.
No.
Green room comment, though.
Yeah.
Trying to self-edit here.
He's a good guy, though. Denny is. As much as Carl pokes at him.
Well,
Carl likes poking at people.
I pick on my brother, too, but...
Yeah. Oh, and you can tell they're brothers. They act like brothers.
Yeah.
When Donna had her birthday party, we were over there, and Denny stopped in for a little while, and they were it was like watching the Smothers Brothers, seeing the two of them together.
That was probably entertaining.
It was.
Yeah,
The
I was
question
a
on
little
my
bit.
mind is which one of them had a yo-yo?
Good question.
Well, I think Carl played the bass.
Mom played the fiddle.
I would have been in here a little bit earlier, but I was finishing up watching The Dirty Dozen too. I hadn't seen it in a long time, so I saw it pop up. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Older version, I hope.
It was the sequel to it that had Larry Wilcox that played in Chips,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and Ken Wall that played on Wise Guy, and a couple other notable actors. Gavin O'Hillery, who was Dan O'Hillery, character actor's son. He's the one that played the main bad guy in Death Wish 3.
Okay, question since you mentioned Larry Wilcox.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he leave Chips when he did and was replaced by the taller, blonder guy? Which I
Contract
don't.
dispute.
It's probably salary dispute.
It was a contract dispute.
And
Yeah.
him and Eric Estrada didn't get along too well to begin with, and now over the years they patched things up. And but, when you're young and hungry and trying to get top billing in a show, it gets competitive sometimes.
Well, those girls liked Eric Estrada at the time, so that was.
Oh yeah, that was like.
It's down to the one that shows up on the teenage girl magazine's cover or something.
Well, I think they both did, actually.
They both had their fans. It's just
That was like Emergency with Kevin Tighe and Randy Mantooth. I remember seeing Tiger Beat and whatever other teeny bopper magazines, and they were both on the cover.
I was trying to remember the name of those things. I think my sister got one or two of them every once in a while, but not regularly.
When I was going to the hospital by ambulance, they were getting ready to put the IV in my arm, and they did this, and they had to do it twice. And the one guy turned around, looked at me, and he says, it's not as easy as it looks like when Kevin Tighe and Randy Mantooth do it at the beginning credits of Emergency. and here I am puking my guts up, blood and bile and everything. And then I start laughing, which of course doesn't help matters much, but it was a funny moment, though.
I mentioned that didn't improve the situation at all.
Yeah, and these were young. I mean, these were younger people.
Hey,
Guy and girl.
Reruns happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I think Cozy's TV still shows it. I love that show.
And it took me the longest time. I didn't put the two together that Kevin Tighe was the owner of the Double Deuce Roadhouse and Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But him and Ralph both have aged fairly well.
And did you see we lost Tim Considine?
Yeah, I saw that. We also lost.
We lost my Carly, Veronica Carlson, a few days back.
Yeah.
She was big into monster movies.
I'll think of it in a second. He played General Mortars on National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. He was in several soap operas. He was also in Midway, the movie version with Charlton Heston and
Spinning Marty. Oh, Lord, sir. Now you're taking me back to my childhood.
Yep. And, of course, he was the oldest boy on My Three Sons. Back
Uh-huh.
when it first started.
That's
Chip is that the one that left? Chip?
Chip was the youngest one.
Oh, Chip was
Yeah,
the youngest.
no, well,
This is
yeah,
oldest.
and Ernie came in, and then Ernie became the youngest one.
Yeah.
Was it?
Mike? No, Mike was
not
the
Mike.
middle.
Mike was the middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it, Sarah? Who did Tim Considine play? What the oldest son on My Three Sons?
I can't think.
You were talking about Chips. There is a Chip Star Trek connection now.
I'm afraid to ask.
Okay. Fred McMurray played Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
William Frawley played Bub. William Demarest played Uncle
Demarest.
Charlie.
Yep.
Tim Considine
Yeah.
played Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Well,
like, I was thinking.
John Grady played Robbie.
Oh,
Stanley
Robbie.
Stanley Livingston played Chip.
Mm-hmm. Tina Coe played
Barry
Katie.
Livingston played Ernie.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie Thompson Douglas. Meredith McRae played Sally Ann. Tina Cole played Katie Miller Douglas. Beverly Garland played Barbara Harper Douglas. Dawn Lynn played Dorothy Dodie Harper
Dodie.
Douglas. And Ron Troop played Polly Williams Douglas.
And I know the Chips reference, Joel. Robert Pine is Christopher Pine's father, and Chris Pine played the young Kirk in the Kelvin timeline.
The captain in Chips, his real life son is Captain Kirk in the horrible movies.
Chris
I
Pine.
wouldn't call them horrible. They're
The one with Benedict Cumberbatch was tolerable, but just barely. Only because it had Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
Yeah.
They're all three a good substitute for Summon X. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've got them. I put them in the DVD player, and I wake up 4 hours later going, "Did I make it past the opening credits?"
Well, then again, I think any of the Star Trek TV series past Next Generation are good for Salmon X because I just can't get into any of them. I tried like crazy for Deep Space Nine, but
I couldn't dig. I couldn't get
Deep
into
Space Nine got better after season 3.
Well, and technically, Deep Space
took a long time for it to get its feet under it.
If they didn't make Deep Space Nine look more like a sequel to Next Generation, and did something entirely different with it, I think it might have been salvageable. But
well, when you spend 48 minutes, building up a serious plot you could get a second episode, a to be continued out of, and you fire a tachyon burst into it, and the world's all right again.
Magic reset button has been pushed.
Yeah.
Success, gentlemen.
But the thing is, Star Trek is full of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, not just Star Trek. There's just lots of franchises are full of the magic reset button. These big earth-shattering things happen, and in the final 5 minutes, everything goes back to normal.
You know what I really miss, though, and the more I think about it, the more it gets me. I really wanted to see the Gary 7 spinoff show.
Yeah,
I did too.
That had definite possibilities. Too bad they didn't go for it.
And not so much of a science fiction on the Star Trek end of it, maybe a little bit, but if they did it more like kind of like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or something like that, that could have really took off.
It did have that
taken off.
Yeah.
If Star Trek's numbers had not started sliding when it did, it would have happened.
Mm-hmm. Was that Terry Garr's first appearance in anything?
I don't know, but she, apparently, from
You're
what
gonna
I
make me
read,
IMDb, damn it.
she
Oh.
Yeah,
doesn't really like to talk about doing that episode.
Well, I know she was in the Monkeys movie Head, but that was 1968, though.
Well, Star
And
Trek.
I'm thinking this was 67, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
Gary 7.
sure, don't remember offhand. Used to, I
Well,
probably could name the
No,
dates.
the first thing she was in, movie wise, was a movie called A Swinging Affair.
Hmm.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Goodness gracious. She was in about 12 things before she ever did the Star Trek thing. She was in
Yeah.
Batman.
Wow. Oh, well, yeah, that's right. I forgot about Batman.
Yeah, she was standing on the street corner. One of the first episodes of the first season.
All right, the actor was Mitchell Ryan. He played General Motors in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. He's also in
What?
Judge Dredd. And yes, he died. He was 88.
No.
He was also.
General Mortars was played by William Shatner.
Okay, my bad. It wasn't him. He was. I'm getting his.
Now people are
played
going
in
to
the
say
other
William
guy was
Shatner
Jim
died.
Carrey.
He was the bad guy in Lethal Weapon.
No, Lethal Weapon 2. No, he was in 1. I'm sorry, you're right.
Yep.
He was the bad guy in Lethal Weapon 1.
Yep.
Is there a difference?
And my favorite role of his,
Yeah, Patty Kenseth was in episode Lethal Weapon 2.
and my favorite role of his, he played the father in Grosse Point Blank.
Yes, and he also, I think, was the father of.
William Riker in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think he was on Greg and Dharma for just about every
Yeah.
episode.
He was everybody's dad. Do you know that he was almost Captain Picard in Next
Yes.
Generation?
Yep.
And the only reason he wasn't picked to play Captain Picard in Next Generation is they found Patrick Stewart.
And you know, Patrick Stewart had 2 screen tests.
Oh, one with the wig and one without.
Yeah, and they said that's just not working. Take that thing off. He took that off and stood up straighter, and you're Captain Picard.
They probably said, we did that already with Shatner. We're not going to do it again.
Have y'all seen? Does anybody have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
You have got to see Lucy and Desi. You know, they did the one being the Ricardos.
Mm-hmm.
They came back and did a biography of Lucy and Desi, going back to their early career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? It's one of the more infamous scenes of the Three Stooges where they take the seltzer bottles and soak the 3 girls.
Mm-hmm.
One of those girls was Lucy.
Oh, wow.
She was the queen of B movies.
Will wonders never cease?
I remember seeing Lucille Ball on the Fibber McGee and Molly movie, Look Who's Laughing. And it also had Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy on it.
Mm.
She's also the reason why Star Trek got made.
Yes.
She believed in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene Roddenberry.
And she knew the wonderful thing of residuals and repeats.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Hell, Lucille Ball is residuals and repeats.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, which Dark Shadows?
Yes, he was
about?
in Dark Shadows.
Was that the?
He was in the original when he was a lot younger. He was in the original Dark Shadow.
He
was in the later seasons.
He was also often drunk, so eventually got booted from the show.
So he was in the Blue Whale. No. In real life, you mean? Okay.
Yes.
I've got thousands of episodes of Dark Shadows on this hard drive somewhere, and I can't get through.
Just go on Tubi TV and you can watch the whole series.
I can't get through them. I mean, they're my favorite episodes that I wanted to repeat, but there's no way to find out which ones are which. The episode guides online do not help.
That's when you sit down and watch it, stop it, pause it, rename file.
Yeah. This is not the one with the disembodied hand and a black leather glove. No.
Excuse me.
I started when I found out they were on Tubi. I started from episode 1, and because I never saw those earlier ones, it was always after Barnabas showed up. Quite a bit after Barnabas showed up, actually.
And Dan, you don't have to subscribe to Peacock to download it to watch content. I wish you just would download Peacock and watch the new version of Battlestar Galactica and go into it with an open mind. By the 3rd episode, you'll be hooked.
Are
What
you
else
talking
is
about
on
the
Peacock?
one with the?
It was a good reimagining.
Yes.
Are you talking about the one with the? What's his name?
Katie Sackhoff.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to think of Adama's name in real life.
Apollo.
No shit.
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah,
Yes.
Edward James Osmos. Yes.
Osmos.
Osmosis.
You've been rebuilding some stuff with lumber, ain't you?
Yeah.
Edward
Hey,
James
I like
Osmosis.
I liked him in Stand and Deliver. He played a good job doing Jaime
And if nothing else, Dan, just the battle scenes are absolutely the best cinematography I've ever seen.
They don't have lasers. No Star Wars laser blast or anything like that. It's all ballistics, shells, and stuff like that.
And nukes.
Yeah. 2, the spaceships fly like spaceships, not fighter planes.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do a full be flying at you like this, do a 360, and still come backwards at you and fight shoot whoever's
and shoot
coming
behind them. So
Yeah.
That reminds me of playing Defender on the video games back in the 80s.
It's like I said, it's some of the best cinematography ever.
I'll take your word
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
And one of the things you'll really like
just
about
watch
it,
33.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the one that.
That's the one that got you hooked, huh?
Yeah, that's the 3rd episode.
the dynamic between Commander Adama and the colonial president is awesome.
Yeah.
Just the way they go head to head.
They got a love-hate relationship.
Oh, big time.
And our irony of Richard Hatch playing a guy that
that's fun. Richard Hatch is actually in the scene, but he sort of plays
he's a shady individual with ideals, and
think that he used
complex.
to be an IRA bomber. Okay.
Yeah.
That was, or the guy that was getting the money for the IRA to make bombs. He's that kind of character.
You don't realize it, but you gentlemen are not helping your cause whatsoever.
Like I said, you've got to go in.
Everything you're saying is making me reaffirm my
Dan,
to do with that crap.
Dan, tits.
I can see those anytime I want. I don't even have to buy a subscription. I've got some live in the house.
Okay, so for Dan's sake, what else good is on Peacock that he can watch if he doesn't get hooked on Battlestar?
The original Battlestar Galactica.
Saw it in person. I still remember it. Yeah. It was kind of cheesy, but it was okay.
Yeah, it was cheesy.
There is no cheese in the new Battlestar Galactica.
Yes,
then why would I watch it?
Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, Lucy Lawless.
Okay, now you're finally speaking my language. But
Trisha Helfer.
Yeah,
faintest idea.
She's model
Sexy
number
as hell.
6.
yeah.
Did what's his name? I can never pronounce his name. Cedric from Deep Space Nine played Baltar or whatever.
Oh yeah, Baltar.
Bartar. Ugh,
Yeah,
Baltar.
Baltar. Yeah, Baltar's a slimy
He is
sack of
a
shit.
complex, unique.
Look, guys. I gave Firefly a chance and didn't like it.
It was only one season. I mean, hell.
I didn't either. So don't feel bad. You're not alone on that one.
I know. Well, everybody else seems to love it, and I'm very happy for them. Y'all love this. I'm very happy for you, but thank you. I don't intend to buy any of your pamphlets, and I never lost Jesus, so y'all can go peddle your papers. You know.
So what non-Battlestar Galactica themed show is on Peacock for Dan?
I don't know.
I'd
Probably
have
not,
to look.
Ryder.
Pretty
But-
much everything that's been on NBC.
I
Knight
saw it
Rider?
first one. I probably got it on the hard drive. You
18.
know, if it interests me, I probably already got it.
The first 5 seasons of SNL.
No, after they dropped the Muppets, I gave up on it.
I liked it through
By-
1980, and then
By
they
the
switched.
middle of
and
the
I
second
was-
season, it was
Hey.
it had
Hey,
just
Dan.
lost. Yes.
Dan, they have 13 Nights of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
I can see that already. Yeah.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Saw that in first run.
Alpha to be on there.
Saw that in first run.
Airwolf.
Saw that in first run.
I thought that was CBS.
Doesn't matter.
Universal.
And the nicest thing I ever saw in Airwolf, there was one scene where Hawk's sitting on the end of the pier outside his little cabin, and he's playing the bass violin.
Cello.
Yeah,
Cello.
was it a cello? I thought it was a bass.
I think it was a cello.
It's a cello.
Anyway, I don't know whether he was actually just miming it or what, but it just looked and sounded very, very nice, and that impressed me.
All the Ancient Aliens shows are on Peacock.
Okay, now I'm never going to get there.
Is
Better stick with BritBox, Dan.
is the Highwayman on there?
I've got all of those.
The Bates Motel series is on there.
Wouldn't give a damn if you showed up in my yard with DVD copies and a bar of gold.
It looks interesting.
What
Dan's
about
just Chris, I just figured out who Dan is. I found out who Dan's doppelganger is.
okay?
Mr. Magoo?
Dutch.
Oh, God. Thank you.
He's not
I don't
that
think so.
rough
I don't think so.
and grouchy.
That's his
I
attitude
am
towards
grouchy.
that's his attitude toward shows. If he don't like it, it's a piece of shit, and nobody
No,
else.
no.
And
If I
nobody
don't
needs.
if I don't like it, I don't like it. If other people
Okay.
like it,
Okay, wait a
Go,
minute.
going back to the My Three Sons reference, maybe he's Uncle Charlie.
Actually, I think I found one he'll like. Cheers.
I love
That's
Cheers.
actually fun.
I enjoyed that back in the day. Yeah.
Norm.
Chicago PD is also on there.
Yeah.
What about
That
something
was
else?
pretty good, actually.
Death in Paradise is more my speed than Chicago.
I love the Paradise series. Jeez, that's... Crime. Oh, they got the Crime Story series. You remember that one? Dennis Ferreira, based in Los Angeles or Las Vegas during the 50s.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, it was a good series, and it's on there.
Started out with Del Shannon's Runaway.
Yep.
I was quite fond of one called Broken Badges, but that's because everybody was really quirky in it.
They have the original Dennis the Menace series, the 1950 version.
I love that. I watch that every morning on
Downton
Antenna
Abbey.
TV.
There you go, Dan.
Lindsay has all of the DVDs.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah.
I figured y'all
I
were.
figured she'd have that.
Or,
Yep.
or as my friend used to call it, Downtown Abbey.
Yeah, really. Well,
Which that's a different series altogether that can only be
Uptown
spoken
Funk
of
ain't
in the
got
green
nothing
room.
on Downtown Abbey.
Sarah, I apologize. Early Burt Devlin, was that in reference to Mitch on Dark Shadows?
Mm-hmm. Yes, when she said that, I recognized. Yeah, because we used to get home from school just in time for our one of my cousins that was babysitting us while my parents were both working all day. Dark Shadows was her major soap opera. None of the rest of them could come close. And we'd just sit there, and I'd go, "Wow, this is like shock theater with better commercials."
If they had better special effects and didn't have like when he was walking off the set and stuff going wrong with it, that show would have been even more awesome.
No. One of the ways I always describe classic era Doctor Who to people is masterpiece theater acting with a Dark Shadows budget.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
They have the Greatest American Hero series.
I love that. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
They also have, I don't know if you liked it or not, Firestarter Rekindled, the series.
Nah.
Came out on, it was on Sci-Fi. It was okay.
Not my cup of tea.
Dan, you mentioned about getting out of school to go watch Dark Shadows. We would get out of school, and just about 2 blocks down from the school was one of my schoolmates' house. His mom was the den mother of our wolf pack troop. And so we would go down there to have a meeting once a week or twice a week. I forget now. But anyway, it was Cub Scouts, but wolf pack. And we would refuse to settle down and sit at the table for the meeting until we got to watch the remainder of Dark Shadows. After Dark Shadows was over with, we would fully cooperate with the den mother, and that was fine, but not until after it was over.
Hiding behind the couch and sit at the table.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. Now, I mean, I'm not a curmudgeon here. I mean, I don't hate things that I don't have any interest in. I don't claim they're crap.
Hello, Keisha.
Just, I'm interested in what I'm interested in, and what I'm not. Well, if somebody else likes it, that's fine.
That's same here. I hear a lot of people talk about a lot of series that I've never seen in my life, either because I didn't pay for that network or I just didn't have a clue what it was and not even a least bit interest. And I just went on watching whatever rerun I was watching or new show that I actually did like. Now, some of them I've come back around watching the reruns, like new episodes, in particularly Magnum PI, the original one. Mm-hmm. I love that show, and I would have watched it back then if I would have at least watched an episode or two. And Coach with
Craig T. Nelson
and Jerry Van Dyke.
I loved Coach.
And
Keisha, you do what you need to do. Be safe among those storms. And I like your new profile picture.
Yeah, the storms were coming from her way. I know about an hour ago they were west of Quincy and they were headed this way, but I think they're going to kind of fizzle out. And but the ones to be concerned about, Keisha, is the ones tomorrow night. It's not going to be thunderstorms so much per se, but a lot of heavy downpour, constant rain. So I'm hoping to do my thing with my niece tomorrow and then get her back home at a decent hour because she does have school on Monday, and then get my butt back home before all that rain gets here.
Yeah, we finally got enough dry and sunny days for the backyard to dry out. Now we can flush the toilet without it backing up because the ground was so waterlogged. The drain lines from the septic tank wouldn't do anything. I mean, it's like we can't go against the pressure, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I
the
keep
last day or two has been
And
a relief.
you're all flat land around there too, right?
We're on top
Yep.
of it. We're on top of a hill. So
Okay.
Oh,
I
you are.
was
You're
going to say
not
try.
waterlogged.
I
I was
thought you
gonna
were.
say- I was going to say try to get your fill line to break over a hill a little bit to where it'll start going down.
yeah, well, it'd be nice, but they didn't build the house that way, and I'm not about to dig up the backyard and do it myself. I've got a nice little hillside in the woods behind the house, and it descends a good 30 yards between the top of the hill where the house is and the middle of the hill where my property line ends, because there's more hill that goes on that somebody else owns. And then there's a nice little creek a couple of 100 yards behind the house that comes out, curves around and goes right next to my next door neighbor's house, 2 driveways down the hill. And that's where the damn tornado went through last year, or was it year before last? I can't remember which now.
Well, when
And
you say creek, are we talking? Can you jump across it? Can you throw a rock across it, or do you need a boat?
we're talking maybe 2 feet deep and 8 feet wide.
That's a stream.
Well, pardon me.
Can't fish in that.
You can if you're after minnows. That's about all it's going to live in. Turtles.
The hell? That's a hell of a place to put a spare button. Thing's been aggravating me all damn day and couldn't figure out what it was. It's a spare button they sewed into the shirt, but they damn near put it up near my armpit.
Yeah, that's not an ideal place for it.
No, that's not a good place to put anything. Except maybe a holster. And then it's awkward as all get out. I hate shoulder holsters.
I just want to know. I just want to know where the Secret Service keeps that damn machine gun.
Well, there are 2 or 3 places you can actually do that, but you've got to have your suit specially tailored so you don't look awkward.
Of course.
Usually it's a sling that hangs down where you can whip your jacket open and whip it out. You know, it's not in a holster. It's just right there. There might be a little clip on your belt to keep the barrel from bouncing around.
Well, they're saying that some of them walking around how they've always got one hand in their pocket and the other one they're radio and everything, but it's a fake arm. Their other arm is on it.
Under the jacket. Okay,
under the jacket.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you see somebody wedge shaped that's wearing some kind of earpiece and dark sunglasses and looking around really serious.
An inverted wedge shape.
Yeah.
That just defies all logic.
What?
Yes, it does.
Sorry, I was reading a thing in my news feed.
Yeah.
Of course, they're having the NFL Combine, which they do all the measurements and stuff like that. Jordan Davis is 340 pounds, and he just ran 40 yards in 4.78 seconds. That's moving on for a person that's 340 flipping pounds.
340 pounds. That's a small block Chevy.
Yeah, and I've seen somebody run that fast at Burger King when their order came up. About the same size, too.
Well, what do you think
Sorry,
of the
I just found that amazing.
Chris, what do you think of the USFL coming back next week?
I'm curious to see how it does. I think it's an opportunity for people that didn't quite make it in the NFL to possibly have a second chance at it.
Yeah.
I don't think it will ever be as popular as the NFL. I think it might be a little more successful than the original league. But
Okay,
if that's right,
Memphis doesn't need a team anymore. We've got the Titans. But Birmingham needs a team.
yeah.
Birmingham needs a team.
As far as I know, it's the original 8 teams.
Okay, well, that would be definitely Birmingham. I think
Birmingham
Memphis.
Stallions, Philadelphia Stars, New Jersey Generals.
Okay, Philly doesn't need a team. They've already got a team.
I think Tampa Bay's got a team.
Tampa's already got a team.
I know they got a team,
but they didn't have a team in the original. I mean, if nothing else, it should be like a B league for NFL.
And the Michigan Panthers have a team, which they've got the Detroit Lions. So the Panthers actually played better than the Lions did.
I'd love to see every state have a team.
Yeah, but you would have a problem in places like Wyoming and West Virginia. Well, West Virginia might do better than
Wyoming.
Wyoming just doesn't have the population density.
And of course, everybody be looking forward to the Hawaii game.
Oh yeah. Of course, they still need to upgrade Aloha Stadium. NFL would have still been playing the Pro Bowl there if they'd done anything to it, but the stadium was left there to rot, needing repairs and updates. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, I think it'll give some people a second chance, and it'll be good, but they don't need to try and go sue the NFL again. They might win, but it'll be a Pyrrhic victory like the first time.
Why'd they try to sue the NFL?
Antitrust law and stuff like that, and the judge awarded them the win in the case, but he only awarded them $1.
Says, yeah, you got a good point. You did it. Yeah, but fuck you.
More or less. And of course, Donald Trump was the owner of the New Jersey Generals.
Oh Lord!
And the Baltimore Stars were infamously coached by Jim Mora Sr.
Who?
Jim Mora Sr.
I don't.
He was one of those coaches that was famous for blowing up in press conferences after the games.
Oh.
He'd have those weird, wild, crazy comments that were kind of scary, but kind of amusing and funny at the same time. But that explains why Jim Mora Jr. is kind of crazy.
But like I said, the NFL should work with them and make them like AAA baseball.
Well, I mean, that was the purpose of the World Football League, was basically minor leagues and training grounds for the NFL. The problem is the World Football League and the American football is only popular in certain areas. They're popular in Germany because there's American servicemen over there, especially around Ramstein Air Force Base and a few other installations. And London. That's why they have exhibition games in London.
Yeah.
They
I
haven't
think we
really,
bored Dan.
yeah. But that's why they don't have. That's
Does,
why it didn't succeed there.
but does Battlestar Galactica and Firefly have their own teams?
Yes,
Oh, Dan left.
they actually had a game called Triad in the original series.
They have They actually have a episode of Triad in the new series with rules. They give the rules to Triad.
Oh wow! But yeah, that was a fun episode in the original one.
Yeah.
What was it, Murder on the Rising Star?
I don't remember.
I believe that was it because that was the one that had. No, I thought it had Fred Astaire in it, but it might have been the following episode.
Something that startled me this week. They
Yeah.
changed the design of the can.
Again?
Yeah, I think this is maybe retro. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
It
vaguely
does look
remember
retro.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember them looking like that years and years ago.
I like the font.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's all it is something to catch your attention, to bring back the nostalgia, to get you that nostalgia feeling so you'll buy it again.
And marketing.
Even though it doesn't taste the same the way it used to. And I don't care what product you're talking about, beer or chips or whatever.
Bill, it's same shit, different can. That's all.
Mm.
It's
No,
just,
I'm talking about the actual taste of it, say back in the day compared to today.
Well, your taste buds change over the years too. About every 7 years, I think they change.
Well, too, but like, I drink the Mexican Coke because it has the cane sugar in it, because that's what all the pop had in it back when I was young. And now it's the high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah,
And that's what's given the HFC is the main reason for obesity and diabetes in this nation today.
Mm-hmm. Just don't say that too loud in front of a farmer. They'll turn around and try to mow you down with their combine because that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
All the corn we grew went to cattle
homebrew
and dog food. No, we didn't. Well, my generation and my father's generation of the family did not own a still. A little bit further back, yeah, they're up in the hills of Tennessee. Yeah, there were several folks in the genealogy that knew exactly what they were doing, and
I will tell you, fresh corn makes better squeezins than the siloed up stuff for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's more sugar in it.
Well, you got to actually pick it before it gets dried.
Yeah.
Not when it's good enough to be combined. So yeah, we all the corn that we grew went straight to one of two different places that were local, and three different places, and all three of them had their own brand of dog food and other cattle food that our corn would go into. So
I want to briefly interrupt our moonshine matinee here to tell Keisha that I forget where Varna is exactly, but right now I'm looking at live radar, and Lincoln, Springfield, and Taylorville is getting some very, very nasty stuff right now, and they're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So I know Keisha's out in the middle of nowhere, but I just wanted to let her know that.
I actually tried to look up Varna on Google Earth and had the damnedest time trying to find it. Apparently, it's got 4 streets, and they all meet in the middle, and the entire town is smaller than a football field.
Well, you've heard of the Bermuda Triangle. I think Barna is in the middle of the Beanfield Triangle.
6 people, including 2 children, were killed when a powerful tornado ripped across central Iowa on Saturday.
Who?
This is as of 53 minutes ago.
Oh,
Illinois got a nice line running through it, and it's on Springfield now, just past Peoria, and Chicago's in line. Just keep heading for Chicago.
Yeah, it's going northeast.
The area that got hit is called Winterset, Iowa, and it's just southwest of Des Moines.
Now, Cindy Kep was set up at one of her HallowCon's that she does, and I forget which one it was at, but I think she just wrapped it up, though, today.
Sorry, I just saw a picture for Ice Pirates.
Angelica Houston.
Yep, Robert Urich and Ron Perlman.
Oh, and what was her name from?
Mary Crosby.
Thank you. You got it out so I could say Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, she's the only other woman in the movie I can think of off the top of my head.
Quite frankly, I thought the robots were the most entertaining part of that movie, but the human people were fun too.
Oh, what was his name? The football player, Lyle Alzado.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he may be a football player. He may not be a very good actor, but when he walked in and goes, "What's going on?" and they turned around, they told him the ship had herpes, and he was leaning up against the side of the ship. You see him pull his hand away and like.
He was pretty funny in a lot of things. I watched him recently on an episode of Silver Spoons from the 80s, and he was pretty funny in that.
Well, I used to like it when he did the Fruit of the Loom commercials with Inspector, or the Haynes commercials with Inspector 12.
Mm-hmm.
Because Inspector 12 is supposed to be a tough, no-nonsense person. He's a tough ex-football player. And he was also in... No, I'm getting him confused with Matuzak.
Yeah.
Oh, Matuzak was a big man.
Yep.
Both had beards, though.
Oh, Dan, remember the other night I had the big cup of Black Rifle coffee?
Yeah.
All I'm going to tell you is that stuff is not supposed to be drank after noon.
I heard it's pretty potent.
You bet you were up all... Oh, yeah, I forgot to give you my address. I'll have to...
Bill, I don't want to do that to you now.
Oh, okay. You don't want to send me back to the hospital right away?
He would have walked up there and hand delivered it, and it only took 15 minutes.
No,
Bill,
You think the flash is fast?
Let's just say I didn't go to bed till 10 o'clock.
Oh, God.
Bill,
I was wide open.
Did you ever watch the movie Hoodwinked?
I remember.
Heard of it.
Giving you Black Rifle coffee would be like giving the squirrel coffee.
Oh, no, that's Over the Hedge.
No, it's also in Hoodwinked.
Okay. Over the Hedge is the one where they gave him the energy drink. And he just
It wasn't an energy drink. It was coffee, and the daggum squirrel went.
And in Over the Hedge, the world just stopped. And he's just like...
Hoodwinked is a great film for the whole family because it's got stuff little kids will enjoy, and it's got inside jokes adults will get a kick out of, and it's got an all-star voice cast.
The innuendo.
Oh, there's innuendo. There's, like I said, there's one-liners and all sorts of stuff that, like I said, adults will love, and the kids will love it because of the animated stuff. I mean, when you got Exhibit and Patrick Warburton and Andy Dick and Anne Hathaway and a few other famous people in there, like I said, it's good stuff.
I remember that one episode of Futurama where they had what's his name in the red jacket. They was always friends with Bender the robot. Anyway, drinking cup after cup after cup of coffee, and then they had a fire or something where they were at, and because he was so hyped up on the coffee, he was like how Joe Dog said, the world kind of stopped and he kind of zipped around and saved this person and saved that person and all that. And of course, the last one he went to get was Leela and took her out. I think it was a fire or something that they had.
Oh, and then one of the X-Men movies.
No, same thing. Just in
Futurama.
Oh, Futurama. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that to come back.
I think they're bringing it back.
They are. They are. I saw something a week or two ago
Apparently, they're going to have the entire original cast.
Except for Bender.
No,
right.
They fixed that. He's
Bender has now been signed. He is back.
Oh, okay. Because at one time, because he was throwing a fit about it.
Well, so were the fans. So
right.
They'll probably kill him off in the first episode and then rebuild him with a different voice. But then again, who knows?
Well, that's like how many years did Norm Macdonald play the voice of Death on Family Guy? We got so used to that. And then he was the voice of the owl wearing the glasses for America's Best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he do Colonel Sanders, too?
Yeah, he did a Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did the best one.
Yeah, there were several of them that did it. I think Jim Gaffigan did one. He did one. A couple other people. I think Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire did one, too.
Yeah, because they had her dressed up in his outfit, but you could obviously tell it was her.
Yeah, but, I mean, she's...
Yeah, that would be rather obvious, yeah.
I mean, she's got such a distinctive voice. She's one of those people you can pick out of just about anybody.
Yeah, she's one that they would nail right off the bat in The Masked Singer.
Oh, it's like her and Dolly Parton, both of them. I mean,
yeah.
I love Reba McEntire in Young Sheldon.
Well, she had her own show for a while too.
Yeah.
And that wasn't too bad.
No, what's she doing, Young Sheldon?
She is okay. She was Craig T. Nelson's old girlfriend or wife, one of the two, before what's her name from Ghostbusters got with him.
Oh, Annie Potts.
Annie Potts, yeah. And they went out together to a bar, and of course they got along and they're exchanging stories about Craig T. Nelson. It's hilarious. Yeah, I seen. Speaking of Dolly Parton, she just had a new album that dropped.
Yeah,
I saw that at Target today.
It's about 2 weeks old now, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, knowing her, it's got to be good.
Yeah, well, I've always liked her music, and I haven't really heard anything she's recently done. But either way, I would say good for her.
Mm-hmm. I believe I first saw her on Porter Wagner back in before color TV was invented.
Yeah. Mid-60s.
Yeah. There's
With
a
hair
bunch-
up to here.
Well, you know, there were a few styles like that were probably contributed heavy to the ozone layer being.
Tammy Wynette had that
Yeah.
same.
Wynette, yeah.
Well, I think Loretta Lynn.
So did Loretta Lynn.
Well, haven't you noticed since the 80s went away, the ozone hole has started to repair itself?
Yeah. That's because
Kind of like my bleeding ulcer.
hairspray anymore. Yeah.
You're not using 3 cans of Aquanet a day.
Yeah, really. An hour.
One of my favorite Dolly Parton quotes was about Whitney Houston.
Oh boy.
When Whitney covered I Will Always Love You, everybody goes, "Oh, that's just horrible." Da, 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 da. And they asked Dolly, "What do you think of it?" Dolly looked at him and says, I'll tell you, I absolutely love it. That song made me a rich woman.
Yeah.
Because she got paid every time it was played.
Uh-huh.
And she still didn't tell you that whether she liked her version or not, just that she liked her doing it.
I love
Laughed
you doing
all
it.
the way to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how bad you suck. As long as you make me rich, I don't care.
Well, that's what I was saying. I never heard a song off of this new. It has some. I know Rose is in the title, but I just say good for her for putting out some music in a whole ocean of country music that's not really country music.
And probably won't get any airplay.
Right.
Who's this?
Dolly.
Yeah.
I know now, though, if you go to her website and order that CD, she will sign it, personalize it to you.
Yeah.
Well, supplies last.
She is a national treasure.
She's a very nice lady.
Well, they say it's nothing. You could be walking around Dollywood, look over and go,
There she is.
there she is.
Yeah, well,
She's probably like, "Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to Hollywood."
yeah.
Dolly Parton released her 52nd studio album called Run, Rose, Run.
Run, Rose, Run. That's it, yeah. Which
I
puts
like
me
that.
in.
The guy who's writing the story calls her the queen of all things wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah, we're hoping she's our next Betty White.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I'm trying to think of who's really the closest in the running to that right at the moment.
They're hitting one. Hey, Nita.
Hey, Nita, how you doing?
Nita.
Nita.
I would say Helen Mirren.
She must be watching somebody else. She said, "Gentlemen."
Here, honey, you need these worse than I do.
Barbara Eden starting to get up there a little
I think
bit.
we lost Barbara, didn't we?
No, as far as I know, she's still alive.
She's still around.
Still
Hey,
damn amazing.
Corey's here. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Hey.
Dan knows Corey, he just don't recognize the name. And I know John knows Corey.
Oh, do you know?
I don't know him, but I hear he's a spooky dude.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sarah, that is an excellent answer. And her daughter still looks amazing. And Chiba from the original. Yes, Helen Mirren is cool, and she's getting up there.
I do have to admit, I do have a crush on Zoe Wanamaker.
Who? No, seriously, I don't know who that is.
Okay, you wouldn't know her from the British sitcom, but you probably know her as Madame Hooch from the Harry Potter movies. The Quidditch teacher.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Brunette.
Mm-hmm.
Bossy sort of don't piss me off demeanor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I
I know who you're talking
actually had run across her in a British sitcom, sort of a rom-com sort of thing, but she's got an amazing sense of humor. Can really deliver funny lines. Let me tell you, if the writers can pony up with some good words, she can deliver. So, and
So,
then
Chris is saying that she's got that demeanor of you may challenge that assumption at your convenience.
yes,
about. But she's kind of got that rough attractiveness that you just can't quite put your finger on, but it's there and there's no denying it.
not touching that line, Chris. Really, not touching that line. Um,
What?
oh,
Oh,
What
of
you were
Cassandra
course,
Peterson, yes.
absolutely.
what
Elvira.
what you were saying earlier about uh, a daughter looking like the mother. Um, do you remember Susan Richardson from Eight Is Enough? She played Susan Bradford on there, one of the daughters.
I remember
Yeah.
Ada's, but I don't remember anybody's.
Yeah.
But that's her right there.
Okay.
Back in the 70s. So anyway,
Cute as a
I've
button.
yes, and she's a very nice lady. Get ready, Dan. Here it comes. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I've actually been friends with her for about 8 or 9 years, and
Do you
she got
communicate with
sick.
her? Do you communicate with her regularly?
Yeah, actually, and one of her best friends I was communicating with on Facebook Messenger just a couple days ago because I hadn't seen Susan post anything in about almost 3 years, and I know she had some bouts with a lot of health issues, and so her best friend got back with me and said Susan's doing really good and said to thank you for being concerned, blah blah blah. She's posting some pictures in Messenger, recent ones of her and Susan, but she also posted one of her and Susan's daughter, who looks exactly like Susan from the Eight Is Enough days in the mid 70s. So much so it is eerie. Absolutely eerie. It's kind of one of those, Julian Lennon looking like John, or Danny looking like George.
Danny's not a child. He's a clone.
Well, it wouldn't go that far, but I could see the resemblance. Yeah, there's no doubt what branch of genetics that fella was spawned from. Yes, and he's actually worked really, really hard to become a world-class musician as well. So
yeah, in his own right, so to speak.
Not gonna stand in his daddy's shadow. Let me tell you.
Corey, I didn't know it was existing because I've got a bunch of them I'd like to get rid of.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite here. I
What?
wouldn't go because I've got a bunch of VHS tapes I ain't getting rid of.
I need another VHS player. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try and rebuy all this stuff on DVD, and then rebuy it again on Blu-ray just about 5 minutes before that goes extinct.
Well, Dan, I think they got them for $14.99 at Walmart now.
Yeah.
What was that?
A VHS player.
Yeah, well, I've got 5 or 6 I need to replace. Hell, we got We got 3 of them hooked up to the TV in the living room alone.
Since
one-
vinyl is taking a comeback with
Hey,
the players and everything, I'm surprised that somebody doesn't try to bring back 8-track just for the novelty of it.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
there's something really romantic about listening to a song that goes ka-bonk right in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
No, now you remember that it's like if you're listening to the Beatles' White Album and you're in the middle of listening to Happiness is a Warm Gun, all of a sudden the volume goes down to nothing and then it goes kerplunk. And then when it starts the next channel, then you hear the volume slowly rising again. That's how they always did it on 8-track.
And it's not funk. It's the kerthunk cha-cha-dunk.
Yeah.
It's 3 clicks.
My friend had a 67 Mustang convertible that we used to ride around in. It had a in-stock Philco 8-track player. It was an AM 8-track, no FM. And we had
my 67 Ford had a Motorola 8-track on the hump below the radio.
Oh, on the doghouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was not under dash. It actually, you opened up the glove box and there was a spot right at the top. You still could put all your little literature down below, but there's a spot at the top. So, of course, he used his glove box to store about 3 or 4 8-tracks in, and we had the soundtrack to American Graffiti. We would always put that one in because you would always, in between the songs, hear Wolfman Jack, and it kind of sounded like you're listening to Wolfman Jack playing classic oldies.
Yep.
Dan, my cousin, when he passed away, I don't know whatever happened to it, had something you would love to have had. It was an 8-track, 8-channel recorder. It would record one channel. It had an input for each channel, and the playback was all 8 channels at the same time.
8-track was only 4 channels, though. Well,
Stereo.
No, stereo. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And and he recorded his own music, and he would record all that, and then play. He could come out of that and mix each one to whatever, and put them on the stereo channels, or add them together, or whatever. But it was a portable recording studio.
8-track tape was exactly the same width as reel-to-reel stereo tape.
Yeah.
And I salvaged an 8-track tape and rewound it on reels and recorded some music from the garage band on one track. Maybe it was 2. And then as it played back, I noticed, because I was using the lowest speed on the reel-to-reel, there was this moaning and groaning noise
Good night, Sarah. Thank you for
background
joining.
from the other track that was the original 8-track. And I left it like that when I remastered everything. I left it like that, and it sounds like, a brontosaurus mating call or something in the background of this song.
And my dad's ham radio buddy, who used to have a shop that he would repair and sell radio and TV equipment and that, he swore by the reel-to-reel tapes of the music sounding a whole lot better than 8-track or cassette, either one.
Yeah.
And he would continue to buy that. And I remember in one of the Hunter Thompson books, him making a very similar comment about it, that he wanted to, it was Allman Brothers live at Fillmore East or something like that. He was talking about, he says, you don't get the sounds out of the crappy well, I won't repeat everything that Thompson said, what he was referring to cassette tapes to, and in his Gonzo Getter language, but yeah, he was pretty much of the similar mind that reel to reel brought out a better quality.
Well, it could. It really depended on the quality of the machine as well as the quality of the tape you were using
Yeah.
and the speed.
I knew a
And
lady. I knew a lady that had a stereo VHS,
mhm.
and she had it with her home entertainment center, and she would record all of her music onto VHS tapes because you could change the quality of how fast the VHS tape ran. Also, change the quality of how it recorded or played back,
Mhm.
whatever. Well, she would record all her music on VHS tape and then play it back over her home entertainment center and use the VHS tape machine as an audio tape machine for everything she did on music wise. She'd have 7.5 hours of music on one tape.
Yeah, I had a couple of reel to reels tapes. Um, if you recorded everything on the lowest speed, you'd have 12 to 18 hours worth of music on there. Um,
I think she did the mediums. You had there's 3 speeds you
there
could
were
do.
3 actual speeds on the motor, but you had a little thing that you could put in to the little spindle that actually turned the tape, where you could it was like having a dual shifter transmission on a big truck.
I think you had
You had extra speeds.
you had slow play, long play, and super long play. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yep.
SP, LP, and ELP. Extra long play.
Yeah.
Yep.
But would the extra long, okay, Dan, maybe you might know this. Would the extra long be a thinner tape? Because I remember on the
No, no, no.
cassettes.
No,
No,
it didn't
all
change the tape.
it
It just changed how
the same.
fast.
It was the same tape. It just changed how fast the motor for the
Oh, okay.
running.
Okay.
So you could. It was the same VHS tape, but it would record it.
The
At
machine
different
would
speeds.
record at different
Right.
speeds.
So if you did slow play or long play, I can't remember what it's called. The first one. If you did slow play, it would record like, what was it, 4 hours of music, I think, or 4 hours of anything.
Mhm.
It was 2,
4,
4, and 6. Yeah.
2, 4, and 6. That was
Yeah.
it. So,
Unless you got one of the extra big tapes, and then you could pull out an 8-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, about the little thing that you could put on the spindle to make it turn fast, that was reel to reel I was talking about.
Oh.
Mhm.
So you actually had 6 different speeds you could go with a reel to reel.
But do you remember when on cassette tapes, and the example I'll use is Steely Dan's Greatest Hits, which was a double album. And typically, like, I remember buying the White Album on cassette where you actually got 2 cassettes. But then I bought Steely Dan's Greatest Hits, the first one, with the desert motif on the cover. And that was just one cassette, but it was a thinner,
It was a thinner tape.
longer tape, and those tapes were more susceptible to
breakage.
stretch and snap
Mhm.
than the others.
That is how I learned how to splice audio tape,
Mm.
because I had several of them that were, even if they weren't extremely long playing, they were not high quality. So occasionally they would stretch or break or get chewed up by the player, just get wrapped around the wrong little spindle in there and get all chewed up. And you had to cut that little section out and lay it out very carefully, and cut a piece of Christmas wrapping tape and put it on the back side. Make sure you put it on the back of it,
Right, not the front.
uh, and then
which
take
if
the pencil and put it in the spindle and roll it back up tight.
which if the tape just broke, it would work fine doing that way. But if it pulled and stretched and
You
then
would be-
broke, then you
be-
got a
be
different
missing-
story.
You will be missing a chunk, yeah.
Right,
In
exactly.
that case, you basically sacrificed it. Put a piece of tape over the little. No, you can't make another copy. You can't
Yeah,
record
or-
this and record something else on it.
Well, and that's what happened with my Steely Dan's greatest hits, and I did it pulled and stretched first, and then snapped, and so I spliced it back together and played it. So instead of it going "Hey 19," it went "Hey 19" like that.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad.
there was a tremendous variation in the quality of cassette tapes from company to company, and basically, you had to look out for the one that would work best with the player you had.
Now, how many people had the different folded receipts to wedge the tape in?
Yeah.
Never had to do that one.
Just you had to, wedge a piece of paper in there to, get the tape just right so it'll play.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not an experience in my book. No.
And Bill,
I did have one tape player, one cassette tape player.
Did it.
I admit I bought it at a pawn shop, and I used it for recording the garage band. And when we hit playback on it, I had to take a piece of broom handle about 3 feet long and smack it in exactly the right spot at exactly the right time to get it to stop going "Bah!" and go back to playing, because it would peg itself out with some kind of feedback until I smacked it in the right place with a
technical tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Percussive maintenance.
Percussive maintenance. There you go.
Well, a lot of times when the tape would, the machine would start to eat up the tape, and you'd pull it out real carefully, and then here's a wad of cassette tape, and people would typically, grab your pencil and do it. The number 2 pencil, to me, I could never do it well enough, but I had a Bic pen, the old-fashioned with the cap, that was just a perfect size that you could wedge about this much of the tip of the Bic pen in there and start twisting, and it turned it perfect.
There was one time at my mom and dad's where mom and dad had yet to come home, and I had a tape get eaten up and a bunch of it pulled out. It wasn't crinkled and wrinkled enough to where I had to cut and splice or throw the whole thing away. I strung it all the way from my bedroom down the stairs to the carport door in about 3 different loops until I could get the pen or pencil and get in there and start carefully winding it back on the reel.
Okay.
It took me an hour or so to get that thing back in there, and
Hey, Kiri.
it was kind of iffy as to whether or not it would ever actually play correctly again. Some tape players that I had, it would work. Other tape players, it would just get to a certain point and the tape would stop for no other reason than that tape was damaged and the shut-off reel was sensitive enough to pop the heads out away from it.
Gordon's alive?
I want to show you. Yeah. I want to show you. This is a collector's item. This is the worst band on the planet.
Oh, you bought my album.
The name of the band
Head
is
Cleaner.
Head Cleaner.
Head cleaners. I hear their mimes.
They're much better live. Let me tell you.
It's just horrible. But
Kerry has a question for us,
Hey,
so
Kerry.
ask away.
Okay, we can't promise we won't give a smart ass answer, but we'll try.
I can promise I'll give a smart ass answer.
And there's-
good answers cost more. Smart ass ones we get for free.
Yeah, mine are free.
Answers free. Good answers are $5. Correct
That's curious.
answers are 10.
So Carrie's like, oh God, they're going to answer my question. Here, I got
A new
type it
Spider-
out
No,
here
I
quick,
have
really.
not.
No, we have not. Where is it located?
Is this a joke?
Oh, Kerry.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I think Carrie's been hanging around Ace Bonnie and Cindy Kep a little too much.
Lord have mercy.
Oh,
Kerry.
that's
That
that's a
you
lame ass friend shot.
Kerry, you led us by the hand into that and had us all interested in what's going on and dropped that on us.
Did I not?
Good job. Good job.
I think it's time for a stupid o'clock intervention with Carrie.
No, he just made it on the team.
And-
He needs to be on screen.
Hey, Kerry is. I guess I'm rubbing off on him now.
I don't believe I would have told that one, son.
Yeah.
Carrie, I have some magic erasers that'll get rid of that right away.
Some peroxide and penicillin. Are really...
Dan, you got to admit the way he brought that up.
It's that was absolutely perfectly Joe Dog. Yeah, that's how come I knew it was going to be a joke. The only thing missing was the evil grin.
Well,
sure it was there.
Oh yeah, but we didn't get to see it.
Kerry,
we are now in the severe thunderstorm warning.
No, I mean, I think Kerry's just graduated to the big leagues. We need to have him on the show every week now.
We
He's
have
come
not had
on.
him on the show for a while.
We have had, yeah. Or at least his avatar.
Speaking of which, Joe, I forgot about this. We sort of touched on it Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about it and said, that's something I need to tell Joe about. We have not extolled the virtues of StreamYard to our audience.
Well, I think our regular audience knows what we use.
Maybe a lot of our regular audience is actually watching us on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and everything like that. They may not even have a clue what StreamYard is.
Spiders are barking again over here.
If they don't have a clue what StreamYard is, they've never watched a YouTube video in their life, because every YouTube video starts off with a StreamYard commercial. Seems like, anyway.
See if this will work. Hey.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
No, I wasn't doing something that Joe was doing.
Doing that.
Circular logic will only make you dizzy, Doctor.
I'm going to tell you, that joke's so bad, Kerry, I'm not even going to pull it up. Yeah, Nita says she has the pro account for her team and love it. Well,
hey,
what I did was I bought the high tier non-team account, and John and Dan have admin rights, and I'm not paying StreamYard extra to let people use my channel.
Oh, now you just got us canceled.
Joe, you wasn't supposed to say that.
Well,
I do love the time that before StreamYard got bought out, I do love that time the StreamYard salesperson came on the show as one of our guests,
Yeah.
Oh.
and we told her about the blue green thing. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we showed them things StreamYard can do. They didn't know it could do.
Yep. And I bet she took that.
It's called test to destruction. And we ain't destroyed it yet, but we're still testing.
Oh.
I'm
sure she went back to her bosses and let them know.
Yeah, really.
I found out you can run 5 different shows at the same time.
StreamYard didn't know you could do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Now we're going to hell.
Don't do that again.
So you copyrighted it?
There they are.
Hey, first spot of the night. Here we go. We've been on for an hour and 48 minutes.
Well, I think maybe Bezos has been taking care of them for us.
Hey, well.
Welcome to Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's exactly what we do. But yeah, well, I can run 5 different shows on the same channel at the same time.
Oh Lord, I've got to make a run for the smallest room, so I'll be right back. It's almost time for us to start thinking about running the end credits, and I'm sorry to say that because this is so much fun to be here.
Well,
Fozzie.
It'll probably come at an opportune time on my end because now we are under severe thunderstorm warning. They're talking high winds and hail and heavy rain and all that wonderful stuff. So it'll probably knock me out anyway.
Well, quit blaming stuff on Amy.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I would not talk about Evelyn that way. Yeah. I'm gonna call you out on that one. I would not talk about Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And you're too young to know anything about that anyway.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, guys, I'm about wars. I didn't have my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we got the thing done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm almost as geeked, if not more, than my 13-year-old niece to go see the Batman tomorrow, so I'll be happy about that.
Well,
good things about it.
All I'm going to tell you is if you need to stay awake, get your Black Rifle coffee, but don't drink it after noon if you want to go to bed before midnight.
I was thinking about sneaking in some of my vitamin water, but I don't know. I might need the Coke. No, I think it's going to be exciting enough for me that I'll get through all 3 hours, no problem. My niece, not so sure.
I did lawnmower maintenance today. Got 2 of my lawnmowers up and running. Airing the tires, new fuel, check the oils, all sorts of fun stuff.
Nita saying good night.
Good night, Nita.
Yep. Good night, Nita.
Oh, and it's going through Champaign and Rantoul right now, so oh boy.
Oh God, Kiri.
Oh.
Oh.
I almost called you by your real name that time. Don't.
It gets serious about right now. You start using their whole name.
Yeah, your
And
mama used your first, last, and middle, and last name. You knew you was in deep doo.
I want to say one last thing before we leave, even though Carl and Donna didn't come in tonight, just in case they're watching on the rerun. Donna's been asking me about a mutual friend. Uh, we call him the Colonel, but it's Ron Calhoun is his name. And he'd been out with COVID for a long time. He's an elderly gentleman who's a great auctioneer. And so, Donna, if you're watching this in the rerun, when Laura and I went to the auction Friday night, Ronnie was back with a full mustache and beard, and he was in good spirits, and he was actually able to call the whole auction. We actually left before he even stopped, and the owner of the company was going to take over for him if he got winded, but he was doing really well. So he's doing good, Donna.
That's good news.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. He's a great guy. He lost his wife about 1.5 years ago, and he lives alone, and he lives all week long to come in to do the auction on Fridays. And he's probably 81, 82 years old.
Oh, John, you about ready to wrap this up? Well, let's let Dan have some extra time tonight.
Does that answer your question?
I guess so.
That was a little early, but
Yeah.
Well, I got thinking about it. If we quit every night 2 minutes early so Dan can go do his show,
Yeah.
we should do almost the end of the show 2 minutes early.
Yeah.
this is true. And look, the only reason that I asked you to do that is because I don't feel comfortable starting the show while Hype Flight's still playing. I mean,
You're on two different channels.
it's the same audience, though.
Well, most of them, once the high flight, you can watch them drop out like flies when high fly starts and head it over to your channel.
No, well,
Okay, Kerry. Thank you for popping in.
if it weren't for the honor of the thing,
There's honor? Nobody told me there was honor.
There's no honor amongst thieves. And I'll steal a joke faster than anybody.
Just don't do the cowboy one. Good grief, that was God.
Yes, they don't call Joe Dog the Uncle Milty of Facebook for nothing.
oh Lord.
I just don't dress up in women's clothes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's just wrap it on up. I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you, John, for jumping in because I couldn't get back from peeing in time to start the show off. Chris, thank you for
I told everybody you were on vacation.
I had to pee.
He was on vacation.
Yeah.
Don't
and
forget to remind everybody, Joe.
Emergency.
oh yeah.
Was.
Yeah. Also, if you're going to HallowCon next year or this year, Monday at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, the room block will open up to start reserving your rooms.
Before they change the price again.
It's $74.
Is the link on the HallowCon
Nah.
web?
It will be.
It will be.
It will be. Don't want anybody jumping the gun on us.
Well, if they jump the gun, they're not going to get in the room block.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
If you don't want them to jump the gun, get longer guns.
Yeah, well, I just found out. See, I didn't know this happened. Some guy came in to the HallowCon room, booked the room through the HallowCon room block, then used his choice rewards points and got the whole weekend free.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're trying to.
And that cost us.
expensive this year.
We were short one room. That assholes. So, all right. So with that, let's say good night, everybody.
Ay
Good
con
night,
Dios,
everybody.
amigos.
All right.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.